What's up, heathens? How y'all doing? Today we have more people in the comments, but first we have to crown the dumbass from last week. So, last week's dumbass was this idiot right here. Yes, you, who says that the sun is Mazda's focal point, as well as the sun being a daughter of God. I get that Mazda was a Zoroastrian god or something like that, but to say that it's the focal point and the daughter of God, I don't understand what you're trying to tell me. But anyways, this is why you win Dumbass of the Week. If you pick this dumbass from last week, then you win 1,000,000 God points. Remember, these points are worth about as much as not expecting Trump to say something sexist about his most recent rape allegation. Speaking of dumbasses, apparently there's a storm a-coming. And apparently I lost in my debate to Kent Hovind. Apparently it's surprising to people that I'm a pro-LGBT supporter. Oh, and some NIFB people come into the comment section, spreading the love of Christ. Oh, and apparently I'm selling my soul for green paper. And an engineering manager says that I am literally the worst person on YouTube. So, if you're interested in any of these dumbasses, then please stay tuned. But first we gotta learn some shit with Today I Learned. Yeah! First up on Today I Learned that in 2012 a Cleveland woman was arrested for a traffic infraction and was ordered to stand for 2 days holding a sign that read, "Only an idiot would drive on the sidewalk to avoid a school bus." Yeah, I would say so. You gotta be a fucking idiot in order for you to drive on a sidewalk to avoid a school bus? I can't believe these fucking people. Like, seriously, the sidewalk is meant to be walked on, not driven on. There are a lot of people out there that seem to do this. Don't fucking do it, dipshit. Next on Today I learned of a scientific study that shows having an abortion is not harmful to a woman's health. The study, composed of 874 women at 30 U.S. abortion facilities from 2008 to 2010. They are quoted as stating, "Our study indicates that having an abortion is not detrimental to a woman's physical health, but being denied access to a wanted abortion likely is." So there you go for all of those anti-abortion advocates out there. All you're doing is hurting women, not only by taking away their right to their body or some rights to their bodies, but you're also doing physical harm to these women by not allowing them to have an abortion that they want to have. Go fuck yourself. And then finally in Today I learned that in 2016 a British man crowdfunded a 10-hour film of paint drying in order to force the British Board of Film Classification to watch it as part of a protest against it. This is due to independent filmmakers needing to pay £1,000 per submission in order to be certified. The film received a U. The U rating means it's universal or safe for all to watch. I should hope so. It's fucking paint drying on a wall. Unless at some point during that 10 hours a dick bud is drawn in the middle of it, I don't think that it won't be universal for, all people. Next we have Out of Context Comic. Now, if you guys don't know, you can find me on Twitter at Godless Engineer. You can send me these Out of Context comics, and I'm steadily building up a database of these comics, so I need you guys to send them to me, or else I'll just go to Reddit and find ones that you probably already seen on the internet. So, today's comic is from Batman, and it's I See. Just don't let it become a fetish. I don't exactly know what fetish he's talking about, or like what action he doesn't want him to become. He doesn't want Robin to hold as a fetish or something. I don't know. I really don't know. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. What do you think Batman doesn't want to become a fetish? My guess is it's fisting someone with the boots of justice. You guys know what time it is now? Shitty ass silence. We're gonna answer some science shit really wrong. I'm in the wrong outfit for this. Alright, what do we got today? Can I eat these wild pancakes growing in my backyard? Woo, you sneaky Canadian. What? First, you can't just go out there and eat them, okay? First, you gotta get you some of that homegrown syrup. Now, seriously, all you gotta do is plug a tap into the nearest tree and then pour you some syrup on them pancakes that are growing in your backyard. Then you can eat them some bitches up. Now, a lot of times, these particular pancakes can make you hallucinate. It's good shit. So, while you're dribbling all of that tree sap all over your pancakes there straight from Canada, what you need to do is eat them up and then just experience whatever. I don't know. The last time I had one, I saw the great apes of the past eating the same things and becoming human instantly. They just evolved like goddamn Pokemon. In fact, you may evolve like a goddamn Pokemon after eating one of these bitches. You just gobble that shit right up and then you'll ascend to the astral plane and you can fuck with people all day long and they'll think it's a ghost, but it's really just you, a higher ascended being, playing like jokes on people and farting in their faces. I've heard ghosts do that a lot. You know, there's a ghost story around in my neighborhood where this guy, he just makes all this, he goes around, he's a ghost, and he farts in your face all the time, and you can tell that it's him because it smells like really bad, and just all of a sudden, and you know that that's him farting in your face. And he didn't die, he just ascended to the astral plane. Alright, that's it for shitty ass science. Y'all go and read some comments or some shit. I'm out of here. Thanks to Bro Cephas for handling that shitty ass science right there. But yeah, seriously, don't eat this shit in your backyard, okay? I don't care if you're Canadian or not. Oh, now for the meat of the show. Comments of the day. Prepare to facepalm yourself in it next week. One day I'll write down chords and I'll actually make a song. Alright, so first up on comments of the week, or the day, whatever the fuck this segment's called. There's a storm coming! It's going to block out your morning sun! It's going to rain all day and all night. When the storm subsides, it will be a new morning and a new sun. You have been notified. Alright, Ashley, thank you so much for letting me know that there's gonna be a new sun and a new morning, which I don't know what you mean by that, but apparently it sounds pretty fucking bad that you gotta go around notifying random ass people on YouTube. Let's see if we can get this straight though. There's gonna be a storm. It's going to block out the sun, and then it's going to last all night long, and then there's going to be a new morning, and then there's also going to be a birth somewhere in the world in that new morning. Okay. Do you mean a special new sun? What is this sun you speak of? Because it's definitely not sun as in the sun that's in the sky. It's sun that's birthed out of somebody. Something. I don't know. Maybe somebody got adopted? Evolution theorists are far from logical thinkers and instead live in a place where reality doesn't exist. Wait. So me, believing in evolution, I'm the one that's illogical and don't live in reality? But the person that thinks that there's some fuck in the sky that farted out the universe and then sneezed on some dirt and then masturbated on the rib of the guy they just created to create a woman, that is reality? Instead of using real-world observations, they instead go back to the age-old tradition of making up imaginative stories. In the real observable world that we live in, intelligence and information only originates with an intelligent person. Then there's clearly no, information or intelligence in this comment. Intelligence and information has never been observed to come from anywhere else. To deny that is not living in reality. Can an artificial intelligent robot build itself? I mean, I don't think that just because it's a robot, it precludes itself from being able to repair itself or build another robot. You understand that we have robots now that build other machines, right? There are automation lines where robots are programmed to build other robots. The answer is, of course, not. Well, fucking shit. What's all them robots out there doing then? They're just building bullshit all the time? Is that what they're doing? Also, if it's a highly advanced, AI robot, lot. Obviously, it's meant to mimic an intelligent mind, and so therefore it could definitely build itself or repair itself or something like that. So I don't understand what your point is. Well, the same logical principle applies to an even more complex human body. DNA is encoded information that sends instructions to cells. Well, no, that's completely wrong. DNA is a chemical, and that chemical is sort of like a recipe for building proteins and amino acids and everything like that. So it doesn't send instructions anywhere, it just builds those proteins. Because that's what DNA as a chemical, does. When has information not been attributed to an intelligent person? Well, when information, quote-unquote, information exists in the natural world, I mean, I wouldn't say that needs an intelligent person. I mean, we need to be there in order to interpret the information as whatever information, but, I mean, that's just kind of like, I don't even know, that's fucked up. Evolution scientists can continue to be delusional. The rest of us know better. Oh, Christ, did you just say the rest of us know better instead of KNO? W better? It really took me a second to even understand what your sentence was trying to say. No, you do not know more than a geneticist or an evolutionary biologist. This is Dunning-Kruger turned up to fucking 11. If you can explain how life spontaneously came about from non-living matter or how information got into genome, then tell an evolution biologist he really needs your help. So, for one, the evolutionary biologist definitely doesn't need my help. I'm a computer and software engineer, so my expertise isn't necessarily going to help in that area. All I can do is educate myself using the experts and their evidence in order to understand what the current understanding of the information is. And also, life wouldn't have like spontaneously came about. Like, there's a natural process that explains how that all happened. Maybe we don't have every single step like filled out, even though I think that we have most of the steps filled out. We don't need all of the steps filled out because we've been able to prove how amino acids and proteins and everything like that can form on their own. While we may not completely understand abiogenesis, it doesn't mean that it's not a real process. To be honest, you lost that debate. Your knowledge is minimal. I hate these kind of comments because it has no substance whatsoever other than they feel like I lost my debate with Kent Hovind. I don't feel like I lost my debate with Kent Hovind because I was able to explain why his explanations don't make sense. Like, he thinks that the pressure from the tectonic plates sitting on top of his 1 mile thick thing of water would be enough to cause the vector of, shooting the water out of the fault lines or whatnot that eventually cracked for some reason. He doesn't understand that you need like pressure from the inside of the earth pushing out in order to get that vector of it. It's not like just because it's sitting on top of it that causes it to just spurt out or whatever the fuck. There was that, but I was also able to explain how he doesn't have a cephalopod like fossil, like soft tissue fossil. What he had was the like stone or the shell or whatnot that it climbed into and it lived in, and it was a squid-like or cephalopod-like creature. So I was able to explain a lot of things about that Kent had wrong in my discussion with him, and while I may not have been able to give an in-depth reason why he wasn't, I don't feel like you need an in-depth reason why he's wrong. He's wrong because none of it makes sense, none of it matches our perceived reality or anything that we've been able to observe in the evidence. So you don't need an in-depth refutation of Kent Hovind. I mean, Kent Hovind doesn't make sense as soon as he opens his mouth. Come on, poof boy. Everyone knows that homosexuals are pedophiles. Find me just one sodomite that doesn't like kids or even animals. Well, wait a second. That doesn't like kids or animals? So are you saying that you don't like kids or animals? Because, I mean, I like kids. And I like animals. Granted, I'm not sexually attracted to either one, but you also didn't specify, find me one homosexual that's not sexually attracted to kids or animals. And I would probably point to, like, every fucking body in the LGBT community. None of them. None of them are sexually attracted to little kids. What's up with Godless becoming all about love and homosexuality and shit like that? Pretty nasty. So in the actual debate of Kent Hovind, I was actually able to get Kent Hovind to call me a pervert, or at least ask if I was a pervert. And it's all because he brought up whale penises. And yeah, I am very much a pro-LGBT GRSM advocate. I would consider myself an ally to that group of people. I will continue to support the LGBT or GRSM community for as long as I live. So, I mean, if you haven't picked up on that yet, maybe you should watch some of my back catalog, because even from the first, when my channel was, like, new, I've got, like, a video on there talking about how if you're gonna preach, you know, that homosexuality is wrong because of the Bible, then you should definitely all hold to Leviticus 20:13, and that we needed to challenge people on that. But you'll find that a lot of the Christian community will not follow the entire Leviticus 20:13 because they don't think homosexuals should be killed, but they do still feel that it's a sin, which doesn't make a lot of sense. But you know what? I don't have to do that now because we have the new IFB who are shaming Christians themselves, and I'm often finding myself on the other side of it defending Christians against the new IFB. But then again, those particular Christians that I'm defending don't have a problem with homosexuality, so I don't know. I mean, it's kind of a complex situation. Ha ha ha! Just watch Kent Hovind wipe the floor with you. You should lay off the booze when attempting to formulate arguments. Major fail, dude. Okay, I had one beer during that debate. That's it. Like, one beer does not make me drunk. And just because Kent doesn't like beer and the Christian community that watches Kent doesn't like beer, doesn't mean that, like, I was so drunk where I couldn't make sense. I made perfect sense. I have somebody here that regularly calls me out on my bullshit, so I would know if I'm not making sense or not. I've been wondering why the majority of leftist liberals reject God. I think I understand now. Could it be because they scribble graffiti on themselves, ignore their natural biology, deny their own intellect, destroy moral values? But deep down they know God is going to give them detention afterwards for vandalizing and abusing his creation. So I imagine you're very much a Christian person, and you think that me having tattoos or anything like that is apparently an abomination to God, as well as ignoring natural biology. I can only assume that you're talking about the transgender community, and that's not ignoring natural biology. That's actually embracing their natural biology. So I don't know how you can be so turned around in that, so bass-ackwards. Deny their own intellect. Oh, because I lack a belief in God, I deny my own intellect. Actually, it's a sign that I'm using my intellect. Destroy moral values. Just because I have a different set of moral values than you do, which I would argue is probably a lot better considering your fucked up comment here, I would say that my moral values are just fine. And no, deep down I do not know that God's going to give me detention because I don't think God is real. I think when I die, I'm just going to disappear. I don't want there to be an afterlife or a forever after this life, because that would be fucking boring. It would be horrible. It would be like nails on a fucking chalkboard for the eternity that I would spend there. Damn liar! Everyone knows that homosexuals molest boys. Go look it up on your scientific statistics, moron. Before you open your dumb mouth full of diarrhea, why don't you research? God is always right! No. Statistics and scientific analysis does not show that homosexuals are primarily molest boys. In fact, the exact opposite is true, that it's actually less prevalent in the LGBT community than it is in the wider community in general. You telling me to research my scientific statistics, I feel like maybe you need to look at the actual science behind it instead of reading shit that you get off of InfoWars or God, Guns, Guts, and Glory or whatever the fuck that blog is, or biblical gender roles. Like, instead of looking to those places for your news and science, how about you look for actual fucking science? Godless engineer can't even act like a respectful debater / person. Oh, because I laughed at him talking about whale penis? He talked about whale penis. Who brings that up in a debate? These vestigial limbs right here control the 15-foot penis. It's just a waggling out there and it needs to be able to control that shit. Huh. Trust me, I can empathize with the fuck.
He comes across as miserable alcoholic who needs a little God in his life, to be honest.
I think I've had enough God in my life. That's why I left the faith. I mean, I was tired of the bullshit, so you can keep your God.
It's interesting that he can't get God off his mind. He makes videos so often fighting against him. Atheists are funny like that.
Well, maybe if people would stop talking about them and about their God or their belief in God in general, I wouldn't have to make these videos. I mean, it's not my fault that religion is prevalent in our society. It's not my fault that you hold religion with a certain kind of reverence to where you feel like you have to defend it all the time. So maybe you should be complaining about other Christians, maybe even yourself, for even bitching about this on the video. Otherwise, I wouldn't have anything to bitch about right now.
Watched your debate with Kent Hovind. Wincing your face and rolling your eyes is not an argument.
Which is why I gave actual arguments against his points, and I gave my own actual arguments. My reactions were not a response to it. Like, they were a response in that I listened, and I'm not very good at hiding the emotions that go on my face, and I don't make any kind of attempt to, prevent the emotions from showing through. So that was just me naturally reacting to the stupidity that is Kent Hovind.
You are so out of your league, son. You produced no evidence, but you did show your ego. That was your most prominent feature.
Woo! Was it as big as a 15-foot whale penis?
You know what, you pudgy moron?
Oh, I cannot wait for the rest of this comment.
It's the very existence of shills like yourself which actually validate the conspiracies that you are supposedly trying to debunk. Did I mention you were a moron? You are a moron for selling your soul out in a temporary life, in a temporary world, for temporary green paper.
For one thing, I'm not selling out. I'm not doing this for money. Nobody's paying me to do this, so I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Not gonna do you any good when your flesh is burning and being consumed by maggots in eternal hellfire.
Oh, there are maggots in hell. Wait, why aren't the maggots being burned in the eternal hellfire? If I'm going to be burning in the eternal hellfire and then maggots are going to be eating my burning flesh, are these like fireproof maggots? Is this kind of like a Zelda Breath of the Wild thing where I can mix these maggots into an elixir and then I can become fireproof like them? That's how I'm going to escape hell.
And just because you choose to believe, convince yourself, that something doesn't exist doesn't change reality and make your wish so. You can never change the truth, not with any of your lies, with any of Satan's eyes, not with any of your lies, nor with any of Satan's eyes.
I feel like that should be a song.
Whom by you are being greatly deceived. Don't believe in the devil either. You should. He believes in you. Godspeed to you, oh lost shield. Oh so lost shield.
Okay. Well, I'll be sure to mix up that elixir when I get down to hell, escape it, and then come back and kick your ass.
Your stupid name for your channel says it all.
Yes, you are godless. Unfortunately for you, things don't look too good. Eternity equals year after year, hundreds of trillions of years times zillions of years times hundreds of zillions of years times itself. Whew, that's a big fucking number, right?
Get ready, because that's how long your ass is gonna be in the lake of fire without God.
Oh, so hell is finite then? Is that what I'm hearing? Like there's a finite end to hell? Because that doesn't seem to really, that doesn't describe eternity at all. You say eternity is all of that. Also, how would you determine years in hell? Like how we determine years on Earth is our, orbit around the sun. So once we make a complete orbit around the sun, that's 1 year. How exactly do we tell years down in hell? I mean, is hell like orbiting around the Earth too? Or is there a sun for hell to orbit around? Will these zillions of years be consumed in the matter of hours on Earth because it has such a small orbit around whatever sun that it's near because it's burning my flesh and everything like that? Like, could it possibly be less amount of time than on Earth? I don't know.
Lol, you're possibly the stupidest person I've ever came across on Yit. This comes from a legitimate engineering manager.
Alright, well, I really don't give a fuck what you think. I don't give a fuck if you're an engineering manager. I don't really give a fuck about you. So you can find me as stupid as you want to, but that doesn't mean that what I said in that particular video up there isn't true. The NIIFB is a cult. LGBT people do not assault little kids. And Ben the Baptist is an asshole. Like, not a good kind of asshole, but like the bad kind of asshole.
The only thing they have to be prideful for is that they aren't hunted to extinction yet.
God damn, Snitcho. Like, you realize there was a point in time when, like, Protestants were hunted to near extinction and that, like, people were killing other Christians wholesale when they themselves are Christians, too, just because they worship God differently or had a different theology about God. Really? You want to go that direction with it? I would think that Christians would be more empathetic to the LGBT community, consider the hardships that Christians have been through in the past, especially Protestants. But nope, they're like, fuck them, they're lucky we don't kill them all. And it's like, oh goddamn. Why do you gotta be such a fucking idiot? And then finally we have, can you answer how far is the sun? And then it's a YouTube link that actually goes to a video that's been removed, so I don't know what they were trying to say, but as it looks closer than 150 million kilometers. So the sun is 93 million miles away, or right under 150 million kilometers. This is what we call 1 AU, which is the astronomical unit. It's the distance between the Earth to the Sun, and we will sometimes use this to measure distances in our universe. But it's provable that it's that far away, not only by parallax calculations from the surface of the Earth, but also other things that indicate that it is 93 million miles away. Well, thank you, heathens, for joining today. I really appreciate you guys. If you will, go down below and make sure you vote for this week's dumbass. I could really use another winner because we are going to be doing a sort of a bracket for the dumbass of the year that we're going to hold at the end of the year. So be on the lookout for the January's winners coming soon. While you're down there, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe, leave a comment, and don't forget to stand up and use your voice. It's so very important right now. Bye, heathens.